Good morning. Welcome to Congress Center for Spiritual Living Morning Meditation. My name is Tammy Evan. I am a Whole Foods Religious Science practitioner, and it's my honor to do this morning's meditation. Just relax. Take a couple deep breaths. Now feel your spirit gently float upwards. Looser and looser until the only thing grounding you to your body is a thin thread. Allow the thread to hold you gently, but do not try to come back down. While you're up there hovering just above your body, bring your awareness to what you see. Observe your body as it is, and think about this person that is beneath you. About what drives them. What scares them. What angers them. Think of how often this person has felt these things in the past week and why. I want you to pluck each stressor and each petty annoyance from this body and roll them up in your hands into a ball. No matter how big or how small this ball is. I want you to take it and roll it until the body below is completely free of stress. Now I want you to take a deep breath through the nose. And feel it fill you. As you breathe out, I want you to throw the ball away as far as you can and watch it disappear. Now take a minute to scan your body for any areas that are left with tightness, tension, or soreness. And breathe your warm, oxygen-filled Now, any thoughts of memories, plans, associations, anything other than being here, breathing. Just breathe into those thoughts. And as you breathe out, allow the thoughts to flow out with the breath. Now that our body's emotions and thoughts are a little clearer, a bit more spacious and open, we can begin to focus on the events, experiences, people, pets, or possessions for which we feel grateful. As we go into the silence, remember these words from Buddha. You yourself, as much as anybody else in the entire universe, deserve your love and affection. Take another deep breath. And connect to this moment. Open your eyes and look around you and offer your gratitude for everything in your presence that is holding space for you to be meditating right now. Give thanks to your circumstances and livelihood, which give you the chance to sit in stillness and be grateful. To your health and physical capabilities that make it possible to sit quietly and improve your outlook and well-being. To the silence, the calm, the light, the love, the tears, the joy, and everything in between. Be grateful. With that, take a final deep breath. And smile. Bring your hands to your heart in a prayer shape. And seal your meditation with this gesture of respect and devotion. Notice how you feel and set the intention to bring this gratitude forward into your day. Namaste.
I mean, that was one of the things I was reading and white people don't like it.
Yes, exactly.
And then the other thing I wanted the other thing that I wanted to remind you of is we have two practitioners that attend ministry. I remembered it because I had this little thing. Yeah, I just remembered it.
That's why you don't have to do that.
Okay, maybe I'll go to the Luke one for someone.
Good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I'm Joni Bauman, and I'm a practitioner here at the center. And I'll be giving you the announcements. Woo-hoo! A huge thank you to everyone joining us today in person and on our Facebook page for meditation and Sunday celebration. Watch for your CCSL weekly e-newsletter for our upcoming in-person services. Also, a huge thank you to everyone that joined us for our Open Hearts Open Mic this past Friday, May 14th. Watch for your upcoming CCSL Weekly Word e-newsletter for the next Open Heart Open Mic event and to get the Zoom link. Very important. You can also find the link on our Facebook page. If you'd like to share your amazing talents at an upcoming Open Hearts Open Mic, please contact Jim Hetzer at jahetzer@sbcglobal.net. I'm sure he would love to coordinate with you. If you have a suggestion or feedback, please email these to the CCSL suggestion box at gmail.com. And if you would like prayer after service or any time throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our Facebook page. That's the news for today. Let's all stand and sing our opening song.
Good morning. Good morning, and welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. It's so nice to see you all here in person again. It's nice to be with you. It's nice to see your faces in person. We are an inclusive organization that honors, welcomes, and respects you no matter where you are on your spiritual journey. You are always welcome here. Excuse me. I'd like to say hello to our online watchers. Hello. Please feel free to share our live stream to your own Facebook page, and the same thing here in our congregation. Please feel free to share it to your own Facebook page. And if you'd like to donate to the center, you can do so through our website at Columbus CSL. We will upload our the service today onto YouTube, and it will already be on Facebook. So, welcome this morning. Please read our mission statement along with me. We serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. So I'd like to thank practitioner Tammy Evans for the beautiful meditation this morning. And also, thank you, Tammy, for holding high watch for our service today. That allows us to go deeper into consciousness. Now, I'd like to reintroduce practitioner Joni Bauman. Joni?
And I, in turn, would like to introduce our community member, Christopher Solomoni, who will be giving us the reading this morning. Christopher?
Good morning. How's everyone doing?
Good morning.
A reading from Declaration of Principles by Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes. There is one infinite reality. We call it many names, including but not limited to God, life, universal spirit, infinite intelligence, first cause, or the thing itself. The one infinite reality is undivided, complete and whole within itself. This oneness creates everything out of itself and therefore includes both the absolute and the relative, tangible and intangible, physical and metaphysical aspects of reality.
Thank you, Christopher. And now let the music take us within. And as we contemplate those beautiful words, return to love, we come back to love. I am conscious of Spirit's presence, infinite love, and generosity. This love of the divine was within me and everyone in this gathering and our beloved community, and radiates to all as it flows through all. We are one with this universal essence of life, and every attribute of good is our inheritance. And so I claim that we are abundantly supplied with everything that makes for beauty, well-being, progressive living, prosperity, and happiness. It is our birthright. These gifts of the Spirit are ours to receive, and we accept them with gratitude, expectancy, and joy. Our cup is overflowing, and I know that this service is in divine order, perfect and blessed, lifting us up with the power and the wholeness of the One. And I release this understanding of our truth into the law, knowing that it is already done in the mind of Spirit. So with a grateful heart for this loving and enlightened presence within, please join me in saying, and so it is.
On the wings of an angel, wings of an angel, I see all my memories going by. In the arms of an angel, of an angel, I count all the blessings in my life. Highs and lows, the pains and the blows, I see all them now. One thing that I know, the way that I go, is I see them, I tell them goodbye. On the wings of an angel, wings of an angel, I see all my memories going by. Highs and the lows, the fears and the woes, As I see them, I tell them goodbye. On the wings of an angel, wings of an angel, I see all my life going by. On the wings of an angel, wings of an angel, I see all my memories going by. The highs and the lows, pains and the blows, I see all them now. One thing that I know, the way that I go, is I see them, I tell them goodbye. On the wings of an angel, wings of an angel, I see all my life going by.
Thank you, Christopher. That was beautiful. And it's nice, it's fun to hear you sing and play the piano as well. Yeah. So, welcome. It's so nice to see everyone here. Just take a minute and look around. Look around, look at all the people that are here this morning. I love to give some waves. Hello, some high fives. Oh, lovely. So this month's themes that the Home Office Centers for Spiritual Living have put out for the month of May is it's a holy, W-H-O-L-L-Y, holy, H-O-L-Y, uprising. So we are an international organization, and the speakers, the people that give the talk, the ministers, or whoever's giving the talk for that week can choose to use these themes, or they don't have to use these themes. These are optional. And it is one of the things that we do here at CCSL is we usually use these themes. So this week's talk is This Too Is God. Last week we talked about revolutionary love. It was a bit of a what do you call it? Like a social activism kind of talk, some social activism pieces on that. But this week is This Too Is God. So our monthly context is Centers for Spiritual Living as a leading edge spiritual organization is not the best kept secret. We are poised with a teaching and tools to take humanity into a new paradigm of consciousness. We are invited to demonstrate this in our own lives, at our own centers, and in our communities. So we are invited, especially this month, is to rise up. Last week and a couple other weeks a couple other times I've talked about how Hannibal came across the Alps to invade the Roman Empire. And it was the first time anyone had tried to take elephants. Hannibal took elephants over the Alps, and what Hannibal would do is he would send out scouts to light a fire so that they knew which way to go. And that's kind of how I see Centers for Spiritual Living, religious science, and unity, is we're like on that leading edge of consciousness. We're those scouts that are going out for humanity saying, come this way. So let's talk about that. Our evolutionary vision from the Centers for Spiritual Living, our global vision, is that we envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social consciousness in every area of life, political, corporate, academic, social sectors, providing a sustainable structure to further the emerging global consciousness. And again, that's a vision. Vision is something that's big, something that's huge. It almost feels a little unattainable. That's what a vision is supposed to be. That's part of our global vision for the globe. And then coming back to our declaration of principles, or our core values, or our core beliefs. Probably our very central core belief in Centers for Spiritual Living, or Science of Mind, is oneness. Oneness, that there is one infinite reality. We may call it different names, including but not limited to God, life, universal spirit, infinite intelligence, first cause, or the thing itself. The one infinite reality is undivided. It is complete and it is whole within itself. And therefore, both the absolute and the relative, the tangible and the intangible, physical and metaphysical, are aspects of this reality. This is important because we are a teaching philosophy. We are not a preaching philosophy. We teach. And one of the things that we teach, coming from this very first fundamental principle, is oneness. Now that one doesn't separate itself into pieces, a little here, a little there, but rather it is the one reality. It is the whole, undivided and complete within itself. I remember when I first got into this philosophy, I had a hard time with that wholeness being put into every piece. I think or being put into every person, because I think I was probably thinking about that I think it was the people are the church of Jesus, or the people are the church. And I always thought of like different pieces, like fingers and toes, and everybody's different and split. But what we teach in Science of Mind is that all of God is present everywhere. All of it. Like drops of water in the ocean. It contains all of it in that one. And yet, we are unique individualizations of the one. So we are whole, and yet we are unique. The Science of Mind teaches that our true nature is divine. Our true nature is divine, and that our intelligence, here and here, is the universal mind, which functions at the level of our concept of it. Think about that. We teach that our true nature is divine, and that our universal intelligence, our intelligence, mind and heart, function at the level of our concept of God. And I think this is where we can talk about growing our God. This is where I talk about growing my God. Can I conceive of a divinity that's a little bit bigger than I did when I woke up this morning? If I can grow my understanding of the divine, I can then deepen my understanding and grow my understanding of myself because I'm divine. Do you see how that works? It's both. We teach that we are made of pure spirit, and that each one of us has within ourselves, within our own nature, the seed of perfection. Now, we do talk about in here, we are whole, perfect, and complete, but not perfect because we never make a mistake. And in fact, Ernest Holmes, that Christopher from the reading today, Reverend Dr. Ernest Holmes, who was our founder, explains sin as an archery term. He says that sin is the missing of the mark. And so if we miss the mark, or if we sin, we try again. We pull back that bow and we try again. How do we create our lives? We create our lives through the law of cause and effect. So there is, Ernest Holmes said, there's love and there's law. And the law always responds to the tendency of our thoughts. What are you putting into the law? What is the tendency of your law? What is the tendency of your thoughts that you're putting into the law? Sometimes, in our own ignorance of our true nature, we misuse the law, and we bring about suffering, like Hitler did. Hitler he used the law perfectly, and there was great suffering because of that. As spiritual individuals, we are spiritual. We are completely divine. As spiritual individuals, we strive to heal the suffering by remembering our true nature. Our own suffering. We can heal our own suffering by remembering our true nature, which is divine. We surrender and allow Spirit to work for us. The Spirit can only work for us what it can do through us. Because it can't do anything out there. It works through us. If we're all divine, it can use us. So, the idea is to place no limits on God. It must be warm in here because, boy, you guys, or I am just boring the heck out of you guys. I think it's warm in here. Is it warm in here?
Yes.
No? Good. All right. Place no limits on God. Thank you, Julie, our service coordinator. She's trying to... Yeah. We manifest the infinite to the degree that we are aligned with it. We manifest the infinite to the degree that we understand it. We manifest the divine to the degree that we can conceive of it. If we have a little good, we want more good, we need to get a bigger bucket. We need to grow our God to get a bigger God. How do we do that? Coming to service, watching service, prayer, affirmations, meditation, contemplation, gratitude, reading, all of those things that we know how to do. The spiritual practice. And when we begin to see ourselves from that truth of our being, that we are divine, we experience an inner life that is more than our external circumstances. This is really important. Some people will say, what we see out here is old news. What you see in your life is old news. Meaning it already has happened, but what is creative and what is happening now is in our tendency of thoughts. Our tendency of thoughts are creating our reality. So if thoughts are things, we need to choose wisely, right? So as we choose something new in our thoughts, our external circumstances must change. That's huge. As we choose something new in our minds, our external circumstances must change. It's kind of like, and I always mess this word up, I'm not really sure how to say it, a mobile, I think that's how you call it. You know, I think of like, oh, this would have been a great prop. So imagine a mobile, like a wire hanger. You know, maybe you might have made one in elementary school, and it has all the different arms that come off of it, and all the little like pieces of paper around it. If you change one of those things, everything else has to change, right? That's the same thing with what I'm going to talk about is called our mental equivalent. Our mental equivalent is an idea that we have of something that we want to manifest or some condition we want to change. It doesn't have to be something material. It could be something else. It can be something intangible and a condition we want to change or a condition we want to experience. And when you pray, when you do your affirmative prayer, gosh, this has been a long time. We used to say, and I'd have to think about it, but I can remember teaching foundations, gosh, probably 10 years ago. And Jay Barnes and I, when we would teach, we would say, think about what you want to manifest. Like I said, something material or something immaterial, and think about the physicality of it 49% of the time. So for example, I'll use an old example. I remember probably, gosh, a long time ago, maybe 15, 20 years ago, I wanted a new car. And I thought I wanted a RAV4. And I can remember working these principles and working that 49%, this is what I want. It has, it's kind of an SUV, and it's bigger, and it was exactly fit where I was in my lifetime, my lifestyle at that time. But then I used the other 51% of it to think about what did I want to experience when I got that car. So if you could take what you want to experience 51% of the time, that's where the creation comes from. Because I ended up not getting a RAV4, I got a different car. But what I really learned from that is that it wasn't necessarily about the car, it was about what I wanted to experience in that car. And it can be true for anything, think about it. We've all had the experience of either getting a relationship, a job, new pair of jeans, those Nordstrom shoes you've really wanted. We've all had the experience of getting that and feeling completely satisfied. Or it could be something intangible. You're praying for peace and you get that peace that flows over you and you're just, that's the experience that you want with what you're manifesting. We've also, I would imagine, have all had the other side too, where, I really wanted this, whatever, house, job, relationship, shoes, and I don't have the experience that I really wanted. So I'm encouraging us, when we think about our mental equivalents, think about what's the experience you want with it. I think this is important too as we think about our new senior minister. We've done a lot of work. There's a group of people that have done a lot of work. We did some work with Reverend Dr. Kathy, and visioned and created this idea of what we want for our new senior minister. And then we posted our job ad for our new senior minister, probably 2 months ago now, almost 2 months. When we think about our new senior minister, think about what you want to experience from a new senior minister. Think about the experience you want from him, her, or they. Same thing in your life. What are you working on? We're always working on something, right? Always. Abraham Hicks, they would say, we're wanting, not machines, but that's how I remember it, but we're always in the process of wanting. That's just our nature. Mental equivalent. What are you wanting? So, it's so funny, when I write these talks, I've got all this good information and I want to get it all out, and then sometimes it just goes out the window. I feel like that right now. So I want to talk about my own experience of a conversation that I had with the board, which I also sit on the board, yesterday regarding face masks. So I got up yesterday morning and I heard, I think it was on the news or something, that Governor Mike DeWine had dropped the face mask requirement for businesses if people are vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, he said to keep wearing your face mask. In fact, I actually copied and pasted it in here. This is from his press release. He said, Ohio will be amending our remaining health orders to comply with the new CDC guidance, which says that those who have been vaccinated no longer need to wear masks. And those who have not been vaccinated should still wear a mask and socially distance. See, some of you are taking them off, Dad. I know, and it's on here anyway, right? I got excited. The CDC said we don't have to wear them, right? I mean, they're the people that make the decisions. The highest health center in the United States, they say we don't have to wear them. The governor says Ohio doesn't have to wear them. So I sent an email to Court Counsel, and I'm like, I say we don't have to wear masks tomorrow. And I was so excited, and here's a link to the article and that says that we don't have to wear them. I was all excited. And then, as the Court Counsel started to weigh in, it was very clear that I wasn't going to get my way. That's what it came down to. And the idea was, we had told people that we were going to wear masks today. And so one of the things about our Court Counsel is that we want to be very transparent and trustworthy. So since we have told people we're going to wear masks, a lot of people chimed in and said, masks go back on. Since we said we're going to wear masks, we need to follow along with that and do what we said. Although I pointed out that if you've been vaccinated, you can't transmit it, right? It's very rare, and you only transmit the virus when you're infected. Man, and I was just beating my drum, and I just knew that I was right, and I was just like, come on, people, see it my way. And I was stuck. And I felt really strongly. And I'm usually a pretty kind of a with the flow kind of person, but man, I was stuck. And I was starting to spiral. I'm like, why can't these people see it? So what I did is I called a trusted friend, which I like to do before I do this next step, and I went into my thinking. Because it's a little scary to go into my thinking without a trusted friend and a flashlight sometimes. So I called my trusted friend, and I complained. And I complained. And she listened. And I complained, and I got it out. Well, I was getting it out. I was complaining, and she was listening. And she wasn't agreeing or disagreeing, but she was listening to me. And I don't know that I would have done that maybe 10 years ago in this philosophy, because I didn't want to. I used to have the belief that if I put negativity out there, it would come back. And I do think that's true. However, there's a caveat here. We don't want to confuse, we don't want to avoid having conversations like that bring up feelings of uncomfort or discomfort. We don't want to avoid having feelings where we allow ourselves to complain or allow ourselves to beat the drum of ain't it awful. Because what happens is as we talk to a trusted friend about that, sometimes we need that to get it out and to open up something that's bigger that can come through us. So that's what I did. I spoke my truth, my divine truth. It was my divine truth in that moment. And it opened up something bigger that I also wanted to share with you all and with myself, is that idea of as we manifest things or we manifest experiences. I really wanted to manifest that we didn't have to wear masks today because the government and the CDC says no, but look, we're here together wearing masks. What it reminded me of is that we don't manifest in a vacuum. We don't manifest things in our lives all by ourselves, because we are all one. We are influenced by other people. And that's okay. Because one of the things I eventually did with the board is I said I will go with the wisdom of the group. There's a collective consciousness that happens in our worlds, and that collective consciousness is a grouping, it's a gathering, it's a accumulation of the thoughts that we've had that affect humanity. So, as I close, I want to talk about what's going to happen. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but what could possibly happen as the mask mandate is lifted in Ohio and around the country, and what we can do as a conscious community on the edge of conscious evolution. We will never ask you if you were vaccinated. We will never do that here. We will trust you as we go forth and change things up. We will trust you to do the right thing for you. Everyone has their own risk tolerance. Some people, it's on a spectrum. Some people's risk tolerance are here, and some people are here, and we're all in the middle. As a conscious community, as we go through this, I want you to all, I want us all to remember to respect other people wherever they are on their tolerance for their risk tolerance. I also want us all to remember that it's been over a year since we've been wearing these masks. So that collective consciousness is that these masks are going to keep us safe, and they have. And now the collective consciousness is changing. So we as a community, a conscious community, can hold the good for that. We can hold that people are going to be willing, or people are going to feel comfortable. We can hold the highest, the high watch, like as Tammy holds our high watch. So we can hold the high watch for at least America as we unfold. So that, I think, is my call to action today. My call to action is to think about the oneness of God, to grow your God, and to hold the high watch for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, as we go through this unmasking And to be with our friends that may be afraid or may be angry is to listen. Is to listen. So let's take this into prayer. Knowing there is only one presence. There is only one thing happening here. There is one mind in all of humanity that exists in, through, and around us, and yet is beyond us. And it's from this oneness that we have our thoughts, our movements, our intentions, from those God qualities of love, life, light, peace, joy, wisdom, and abundance. So I speak my word on behalf of each and every person here this morning, that's watching this morning or watches later on, that we go in and we ask ourselves, that oneness, that divinity within our oneness, what is mine to do? Guide me so that we have a world that works for everyone. Guard me from those times where I forget or I falter in my faith. And direct me what is mine to do on behalf of humanity, on behalf of the unfolding of the perfection of the divine within each and every one of us in this world as we create a world that works for everyone. Unique, individualized oneness. And I just speak a word as we go through this unmasking, that we are held with grace, love, and compassion. I claim it, I know it, I let it go with a grateful heart. And please say with me, and so it is.
Don't you get too caught up with your worries. Don't you get too caught up being in a hurry. Don't you get too caught up with your worries. Or life will pass you by. Don't you get too caught up with your possessions. Don't you get too caught up with your objections. Don't you get too caught up with your collections, or life will pass you by. Of every day that comes around the corner will tell you the reason why. To stand in your truth and let love see through, then you can let your spirit fly. Let it fly. Don't you give up on your ambitions. Don't you give up Well, all right. Every day that comes around the corner will tell you the reason why. To stand in your truth and let love see you through, then you can let your spirit fly. Come on, let your spirit fly. Let it fly. Don't you get too caught up with your worries. Don't you get too caught up being in a hurry. Don't you get too caught up with your worries. Or life will pass you by.
That's our own Christopher Solomon. So now it is the time for the giving of our gifts. Thank you for all of the ways that you continue to support the center, especially during these times. We are honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually, and we appreciate the gifts, the tithes, the donations you give to CCSL because it helps us to fulfill our vision statement that is to create a world that works for everyone. So as we engage in the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are simply circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money. So I know some of you give electronically. I know some of you have already given. So if you would like to, as the basket goes around, and place your hand in there and put a little of your energy in there, I welcome you to do that. And if you cannot give at this time, please place your hand above there. You could do that either and put your energy in there. So please say our affirmation with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
Circulation indeed. Grateful for that beautiful circulation going on right now. Grateful for all that have participated today in our service and those of you that are watching remotely. We appreciate all of you. And I know that the gifts presented here are given and received with love, joy, and a sense of abundance and of infinite source. Thankful that we are all one, and for the many gifts we bring, together we sing. And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
So let's take a moment and thank our practitioners, Tammy Evans for the meditation and for doing the offering. Thank you, Joni Bauman, for being on the platform with me. Thank you, Christopher Salamone, for doing the reading and being our guest musician today. Thank you also to Wayne for being here and helping with music. Thank you, Clarissa Holmes, along with our center trio, Tony Bernardi on piano, Joe Nelson on drums, and Steve Parakis on bass. Thank you, Rob, for doing our sound this morning. Thank you. Thanks, Julie, for being our service coordinator. Thank you, Matt, for live streaming. Thank you, Robin, for doing our slides. And also, thank you, the practitioners helped with the greeting and the ushering today. So thank you. We are very glad you are all here for our sacred service celebration this morning. If you're joining us for the very first time, either here in person or on live on Zoom, or I'm sorry, on Facebook, we would like to give you a welcome packet. You can pick it up from Julie as you exit out the back today. Surprise, I know I did that differently. We're not asking you to raise your hand and say, I'm new, hello. If you're online or if you're here and you want an information package, you can always request that by calling the office or sending us a private Facebook message. So, thank you for being here this morning. Bless you all. Let's say our blessing together. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now, and so it is.
All right, let's all stand and get our dance on.
Woohoo!
We're so